You guys have no idea about things that Samsung hasn't told you about the Fold 7. Like the fact that this phone is a dual display with a natural kickstand and that you get much easier and usable controls while you're at it. I've used it to compare prices when ordering food, used it on the fly as an actual display that's easy to type on, watch content in ways that you never thought you would, and even shoot a video like this with the script on the right side like it's a teleprompter. There are many things that Samsung did tell you about and didn't about this phone, but that's what I'm gonna do. Let's go. You know, this is what Samsung may have had in their minds 7 generations ago. Because this is finally the 2-in-1 tablet phone that I can totally ditch my slab phone for and not regret it. I mean, look at it compared to the regular bar phones. It's right there. It's lighter than the S25 Ultra, slimmer than the iPhone 16 Pro, and if I unfold it, let's not even compare it to others. I mean, the hinge this time barely has any bulk now, super sleek. But I do want to point out that this is a very wobbly phone. So much so that it wobbles just if I keep it flat on a table. Now, I don't know whether it's because it's that light or it's just that wobbly. But you know, the biggest win for the Fold 7 is the cover display or the outer display, and it's not a compromise anymore. It's a normal wide display, and so much so that while using it, you might even forget that you're using a foldable phone. And that, guys, is the biggest difference between the Fold 6 and the Fold 7. Sure, the Fold 7 is additionally stronger in terms of build, and it has a more scratch-resistant protection on the display, all from a build perspective. Now, one thing I noticed is that there are these small air gaps which, if you put a string through, can help you do this. But it does collect a bit of dust on the top and bottom areas on the hinge line. Thankfully, this phone is IP48 rated for water and dust resistance. So whether it's that dust or the fact that you want to wash that dust away, the phone's good to go. But you're not buying a phone that folds to dip it in water. No. You want to look cool folding and unfolding a phone, don't you? I mean, come on. You're getting a phone with this gorgeous color, a strong and absolutely fingerprint-free back panel, and the ability to just go big on demand as and when you want it. Thoda show off to banta hai. I'm just kidding, guys. I mean, you can still flaunt it, but this device is useful in ways you haven't thought of yet. For example, I love watching videos on this. And no, not because it's got a big screen inside, because that's not going to be very different from a regular phone either, but because of just how convenient it is. See, it's got its own kickstand, so I don't need to depend on my coffee mug. It's a lot easier to control video playback, and I can see what people are commenting just below the video and even respond to them without interruption. I was in Bangkok, and it helped me so easily tell the barista to not put cream in my coffee. And if I'm in the mood to save a little, I'm guilty of trying to see whether I'm getting a better fare on Uber or Ola, Zomato or Swiggy, or whether the rants are better on X or on Threads. I mean, you can get creative with how you want to use this phone. Even the video I made in the opening was done using the cover display as a viewfinder in split screen with my script open in Samsung Notes as a teleprompter. Or look at how viewing photos or videos on a regular phone is like versus what it feels like to view on this. You get the idea, right? I mean, honestly, One UI has been on Fold devices for quite a few years, and I found it to be very polished and well optimized for folding phones. I can be working across 2 apps and switch between them with just a tap. Even when I'm editing a photo, I can easily see the before and after right next to each other. Or when I'm taking photos from the camera, I can have all those pictures appear as a collection on the left. I can also go from using an app on the inside screen and then continue on the outside display when I fold the phone. And there's a very simple setting that lets you enable that. And everything else just looks better. For example, the way Samsung Health app looks, or even the Smart Things app, it just lets me see my devices and control them very easily. It just has a more business class vibe. You know, the economy gets you to the same place in the same time, but it just looks and feels better. Besides, you still do get all the AI goodies that we saw with the S25 Ultra as well. I'm not gonna get too deep into that. I've done a full video explaining all Galaxy AI features right over here, so you can catch that right after this video. Also, you'll get 7 generations of OS upgrades on this. So if you get this now, you'll get what, up to Android 23 on this, if that's what they'll call it, I don't know. But it's a long time of upgrades and 7 years of security updates. No folding phone gives you that. Some don't even give you folding phones yet. I can see that it's coming off as if I'm trying to sell you a folding phone. I'm not. I just think it's that cool. Now, one of the top concerns about a folding phone has been, hey, if I'm spending flagship price, then I want flagship cameras giving me flagship quality photos and flagship quality videos. Everything flagship. Let's see. So this time, Samsung has tried their best to give you close to their ultra flagship series camera quality. An upgraded 200 megapixel camera sensor modified slightly to be thinner to ensure that the Fold 7 doesn't look overweight. So here are some shots I took by setting the camera to 200 megapixel mode, and they came out quite well detailed. I mean, these shots hold enough details for you to zoom in, crop it, color correct it, and still look great. And 200 megapixel mode aside, even in regular mode, the shots taken by a very regular me came out above regular. Just about the right kind of balance between natural and slightly contrasty picture, good dynamic range. If I don't nitpick, these are good shots, man. Even the ultra wide surprised me. I love the shots that the phone took. So guys, I'm going to leave a link in the description. You can download all these photos, evaluate the quality for yourself. I also tried some portraits and quite impressive. In fact, these are all while walking, just random shots. Colors, edge detection, skin tone. I like it. What do you think? Oh, and even low light. I found these shots to be very satisfactory. I'm not saying that these are the best you can get, but these are still damn good. Sure, dynamic range could be slightly better, but the colors are good. Little to no noise and fairly well detailed for low light. And while you can take very, very good selfies with the front-facing camera on the cover display, but if you struggle in low light, you could just as easily, okay, maybe not as easily, use the rear camera to take a brighter, more detailed, sharper selfie. Let's also talk video. See, the Fold 7 can shoot up to 8K 30 FPS. However, I went around Sweden shooting at 4K 30 FPS, and this is what it looked like, guys. It's a fine example of HDR recording done right, with both the super bright and super dark areas being shot in a balanced manner. And even when, lighting inside is not as great as in this hotel's lobby, just look at how sharp the focus remains and no noisy grains in the video. Outdoors too, in low light, I could capture some really good footage. Also, the Fold 7 can shoot in great detail in its log mode. And just look at some of these shots I captured. Of course, it looks dreamier and more dramatic in slow motion as I grabbed all of this in 4K 60 FPS. But man, I think this is all super impressive. Now, if you're still watching this video, I'm getting a feeling that you really want to buy this thing. So let me tell you some hardcore facts and some things that might be of concern to you. First, the display. And do not take this display for granted. I mean, it's a Samsung flagship. You don't get a display better than this on any phone, be it the colors, the accuracy, the sharpness, or even its outdoor visibility. I'm not even going to exaggerate or over-dramatize. There is nothing better. And it's also got the slimmest bezel on a folding phone ever. Now guys, unlike the S25 Ultra, the Fold 7's outer display does not have an anti-reflective coating. However, if you do plan to buy a case from the Samsung website, you do get one of these anti-reflective protective films for free. And you're sorted. And the only thing that tickled me a bit is that the punch hole camera, look, it's fine, but maybe it should have been somewhere in the corner instead of in the center, just so that it doesn't show up when I'm watching content. Now guys, in terms of performance, expect nothing less than the best. The Fold 7, like the Ultra, uses the best Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, along with super fast memory to ensure that the phone runs smooth and quick. You could be running 3 games simultaneously just for kicks, and the phone doesn't even blink. Now there's one major change, which is the inner display does not support the S Pen now. And no, you cannot use an older S Pen, you cannot buy an S Pen separately, that's going to work. It just doesn't support it now. And instead of this, Samsung added an additional layer of UTG to make the phone more durable. Ergonomically, I think it makes all the more sense, but for those of you, like me, who use the S Pen a lot, it's gone. And I know that you guys are wondering, when will this guy talk about battery? Being honest, light use, you'll be out by about dinner time. Heavy use, you might want to charge sometime in between or late evening. Now, a lot of people are saying that why not just put, silicon carbon battery with a massive capacity and be done with it? There's actually a growing concern over silicon carbon batteries that they might have lesser effective capacity left over 4 years than regular lithium-ion batteries. Now, if that's true, then the question is, do you want more battery upfront and deal with possibly poor battery capacity after 2 years? Or do you want lesser battery upfront but have a more effective battery lifespan over 4 years and maybe above? And I bet that half of you will swing in one direction and the other half in another direction. But For now, it seems that Samsung does not want to take that risk and they want to give you phones that have battery capacities that last you for a longer time. And what Samsung hasn't told you, but they're working on a higher density battery tech on their own to come up with batteries with higher capacities that don't die out sooner. Now guys, another concern that people have had with folding phones and the hinge is that it may not open fully after some time like the way it does right now. Now guys, this right here is a mechanical part, and dust, being as tiny as it is, can go and accumulate in places that it shouldn't. And so guys, it's actually a good idea to keep opening the fold so that dust doesn't actually sit there and just accumulate. And this in turn will keep that hinge in shape for a much longer time. Let's now talk about the prices. Look guys, the phone starts at 1,75,000. I can't help that. I can't help most flagships for that matter. But I think the best way is to exchange with your old phone, or maybe even buy it along with the new watch that gets you a significantly higher discount, making this purchase more value for money. Overall guys, this has been a long video, but honestly, foldables is still a segment where being thin and being light really matters for them to be feasible everyday products in your pocket. And Fold 7 is the first folding phone to achieve that, and it shows how far Samsung has come. There are no doubts about its usability, durability, performance, and cameras. Battery is still something you'll have to find a way around, especially more on busy days. But other than that, if you've been thinking about switching to a Fold, now is the best time as ever. But that's it guys about the Fold 7, and I really hope in this video I've been able to bring out aspects of the Fold 7 that can really help you decide whether you should get it or not. If not, please leave questions in the comments. I'll definitely respond. And if you did enjoy watching the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel guys. Hit that bell notification icon and mark all, really helps the channel grow. I'll see you guys in the next one.